Let's jump into this chat. Grammys recap. The Super Bowl of music occurred this weekend. Before we talk about the music, we know that you attended some very prestigious events. The elusive, highly coveted Roc Nation Brunch. How was it?
It was a great feeling.
Mm-hmm. That was your first one, right?
Yeah, the first one, great feeling. I think ultimately for me, it's not always about being in spaces, but more about the energy within spaces.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to be in a lot of places, but energy is a whole different thing,
Facts.
and I think just the elegance, the conversations, and just how open and friendly people were. And just to know that, everybody's there as individuals doing their own thing based off what they do, whether it's in music or any other industry.
Right.
But really being able just to have conversation, and just to bond without anything extra,
Right.
And I just also just love seeing us just dress up too.
Facts.
Right? So yeah, like I think for me, I'm still processing a lot of it. Like I did interact with like a lot of my favorite people from either from when I was young or more recently. So like that was a moment for me. But overall, like it was just a great time. I really enjoyed it, and yeah.
And I'm sure it was gratifying knowing that ultimately your hard work allowed you to be in that space as well. Like you were more focused on the energy and everyone looking great, but it's also like you because it's a status thing. Like for people want to go to the Roc Nation Brunch because they feel like they made it, but for you, it's like you earned your place there by creating something that resonates with the people. So I'm sure that was
definitely. I think one of the biggest things is I think for me, I always like to say, if you're meant to be somewhere, it's gonna happen.
right.
A lot of politics, a lot of things, but I feel like if you're meant to be somewhere, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm a strong black believer of I'm always in the right place at the right time. Mainly because I try my best to disassociate with places that I don't feel serve me or I benefit from or I can contribute to also, right?
Facts.
I think a big thing is being able to contribute to spaces that you're in. A lot of times people talk about, what they got from something, but what can you add to something? And yeah, like, once again, like I'm just still processing it a lot. One of my boys, B-Dot, it was just the randomest thing. It was the randomest thing, and I was like, oh shit, this is really happening right now. I was just walking around, seeing people that I knew, saying hi, giving hugs, things like that. Seeing B-Dot, give him a pound. I'm like, yo, what's good? We just there chopping it up, and he's just like randomly like, you want to meet Hov? And I'm just like, all right, cool. But it's like Hov is literally standing like three people over.
Yeah.
And he taps Hov and was just like, this is Nigeria, this is where he from, this is what he do. And I gave Hov a pound, and I was just telling him like, hey, this is me, this is what I do. And it was just like, I was trying to keep it real short.
Right.
Because it's like, I don't want to overly speak or just say like anything.
Of course.
But I think that was a good like moment. Especially because for me personally, I'm like, I grew up in Farragut Projects, downtown Brooklyn, my whole life until I was like 19 years old, But I also grew up in Marcy because my family lived there. My cousin, my aunt, my grandmother, I had family that lived there. And ironically, they lived in Hov's old building. So it's like you cannot like imagine early 2000s how Marcy is. Same thing for Farragut, same thing for Fort Greene, all those neighborhoods. And for me to be where I'm at now, doing the things that I'm doing and trying to create this path of my own and to see successful black billionaire now that comes from the same, if not worse, and like environment. You know, to me that means something. It's bigger than it being Hove. And you know, for me when I was younger, this is somebody that made it from the circumstances that I was in or I'm in, you know, and took it to a whole different level.
Yeah.
And that for me also helped me be the person that I am in terms of like, I'm gonna make it out. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I'm gonna stay focused. Yes, you know, we learn like along the way, but that's part of the process, you know. And that's how I kind of look at like anybody that I really respect, whether it's in like music, art, fashion, things like that. I always look at, you know, how are their stories similar to mine? You know, what can I take from this? How can what I do also, you know, propel me to be in a space where I am able to create change, or in a space where I am able to like spark conversation or help somebody benefit in some type of way, you know?
I think the dope thing about that is in 15, 20 years when there's a tier brunch or something, someone from Brooklyn.
I mean, listen, tier events always go up, so
like,
we know that.
There's going to be someone from your area who's doing something who gets to be in your presence, and it's going to be a similar experience. So we just create those ripple effects. So
definitely.
It's really dope to see someone who had that experience look at it so humbly, as opposed to being like, nigga, I met Hove, like I dap Hove up, like you're really taking it in a meaningful type of way, like, and I admire that, because this whole clip could have been, I think I met Hove. Hove said Tier's dope, all this, but like, this is powerful. This is really powerful for me to hear.
I mean, for me personally, like, I always know where I come from and what I've like experienced in life to where I'm at now, and I don't take nothing for granted. I'm grateful for everything. Pray every day, meditate every day, and try to just always put my best foot forward, you know. And once again, I think bigger than it just being me being around other like people, right? And a lot of things that I tell some of my friends or family when they ask, like, if I met like certain people and things like that, I would just be like, you know, for me, I realize that they're human beings also.
Fact.
And I've never been like a super fanned out person whenever I like meet people. Because for me to like an artist or things like that, I have to like their story or respect what they do and just things like that. So for me, when I do, it's always that humble experience where like I don't want pictures, I don't want anything. I just want to tell you how you impacted my life and literally tell you like, hey, you'll see me soon.
Yeah,
it's funny because that's literally what I did. Like, the first time that I met Ye, I was just like, "My name is Nigeria. This is what I do. You will see me soon one day. I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know where, but you know, my work is going to speak to where I end up in life."
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of look at everything. You know, I focus on what I'm doing. I never, like, I can admire or have inspo from other places, but like, my mind is like moving on its own.
Yeah, that's real. That's real.